Good afternoon, everyone. We will be starting this presentation in about a minute. Thanks for joining us. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, brought to you by the National Cooperative Business Association, CLUSA International. I am John Torres, and I am lucky enough to serve as the Vice President for Public Relations and Communication here at NCBA CLUSA. I've been with NCBA CLUSA for about 10 years now, and I continue to be inspired by the good work that you, our members, do every day. So today's webinars will run for approximately 60 minutes, and I am sure you all know how this works by now, but just a quick recap. All of your lines are muted, and your cameras are disabled throughout the duration of the presentation. Questions can be asked at any time by placing them inside the question and answer box located in your GoToWebinar control panel. This meeting is being recorded and will be made available at a later date. So we will send that out to all of those who have registered so you can review this content whenever you'd like. And so now, without further ado, we'll just get things started. I'll turn this over to NCBA CLUSA President and CEO, Doug O'Brien. Hey, Doug.
Hello, JT. Thank you. And I want to join JT in thanking everyone for taking the time today to be part of this conversation. The folks who have joined us are new members of NCBA CLUSA and those who have been members for some time. So I want to start by thanking you for being part of NCBA CLUSA and making it possible for us to advance the mission and vision of NCBA CLUSA. Next slide, please. Which is to advance and to promote and advocate for the cooperative business model. NCBA CLUSA has been here for about 105 years, and that mission has been constant. About 4 years ago, the board of NCBA CLUSA, which includes 25 leaders from across the cooperative community here in the United States, they reset the vision of NCBA CLUSA. You can read there on the slide, but what they determined was that today, in the 21st century, it's the role of your association to make sure that cooperatives are central to the conversation around building a more inclusive economy. And we do that through advocacy, through public awareness, through development, and through thought leadership. And undergirding all of our work are our members. We are a membership association, and our mission, our vision, our work is propelled by the membership of NCBA CLUSA and the cooperative community here in the United States. So I want to now hand this over to Nina Sater, our membership manager, to talk about the real substance of today's webinar, and that is how we can engage with you, our membership of NCBA CLUSA, in even more meaningful ways so we can advance that mission and vision. Nina.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining today. My name is Nina Sater, and I'm the Manager of Membership and Sponsorship here at NCBA CLUSA. If you could forward over 2 slides, please. I am actually quite new to the organization. I started in September of 2020, so I am very happy to be here today to meet with you all and discuss benefits of being an NCBA CLUSA member. So first off, I'd like to kick it off by talking about a new initiative, the Membership Scorecard, which is distributed monthly on the last Thursday of each month to our cooperative members in good standing. This new initiative started in October of 2020 as a way to provide updates and news and events on things going on in the cooperative industry. We provide reminders and updates on what's going on at NCBA CLUSA. Some of the highlights that were presented at the last scorecard distributed in March included advocacy updates, links to webinars that you may have missed, reminders to sign up for events, ways to participate in the Farmer to Farmer program, which we'll discuss shortly, ways to be highlighted on our social media platforms, which will also be discussed shortly, and finally, a reminder to submit your membership dues payments in order to be eligible to vote in the 2021 Board of Directors election, which is currently taking place and set to close April 22nd. One final thing about the membership scorecard is that we recently added an interactive component to allow you to check off any engagement opportunities or membership benefits you're currently taking advantage of, and then tallying up your score to make sure you're maximizing your membership benefits. So I encourage you to check out the next scorecard, which will be distributed on Thursday, April 29th. If you are not currently renewed as a member, or if you're interested in joining, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information will be displayed on a future slide. I will now pass it off to Isabel, who will discuss social media.
Thanks, Nina. Hi, everyone. My name is Isabel Shinsato, and I'm a communications associate, as well as the social media manager at NCBA CLUSA. We are active on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. If you're interested in domestic co-op news, I suggest following our Facebook and Twitter. And if you're a cooperator interested in international co-op news, I suggest following our LinkedIn account. We have highlights from both domestic and international on our Instagram to check out. So we've also started a new Member Monday initiative on our Twitter and Facebook to uplift the work of our amazing members. So feel free to submit your logos, photos, and accomplishments to be highlighted. Next slide, please. So as a member, you should also sign up for our Co-op Weekly newsletter if you're not signed up already. This is NCBA CLUSA's weekly publication where we highlight co-op news, events, features, and everything going on at NCBA CLUSA. You can email me directly to have your article or event featured in our newsletter, where it will reach an audience of over 7,000 people and will also be shared on our social media platforms as well. Next slide, please. So our communications team also offers an exclusive service to help your organization run its next online event. We're here to help if you need assistance on the technical aspects of your event or with registration. Since the pandemic has started, we've supported multiple organizations in running webinars, conferences, annual meetings, and more, and we're here to help you as well. So the price of these services varies based on what your organization needs, but we do offer a member discount. If you're interested in having NCBA CLUSA support your next online event, please reach out to John Torres to learn more. So thanks for having me, and I will pass it back to Nina to discuss sponsorship and advertising opportunities.
Great, thank you, Isabel. So before I dive into sponsorship, I just want to give some background on the overall audience that we are engaged with here at NCBA CLUSA. We are engaged with over 1,100 co-ops, over 430 industry stakeholders, and an overall audience of over 7,500 cooperative leaders. Of the 1,100 plus co-ops, you'll see here the sectors that we work closely with. And the top sectors include cooperative associations, credit union leagues, grocery and consumer co-ops, purchasing co-ops, worker and healthcare co-ops. So that's just an idea of our audience that you can also engage with. Next slide, please. To dive deeper into this, we have our community demographics here, which are the job titles of folks that we can regularly communicate with. 25% of which are CEOs and presidents, 17% are at the C-suite level, 20% are board directors, and 38% are between director and manager level job titles. Next slide, please. You may have received the new sponsorship prospectus that was distributed recently to include pricing and other details. And if you're interested and have not received it, I'm happy to send that to you after this webinar as well. But due to the pandemic last year, NCBA CLUSA did launch a virtual engagement series of webinars that have been extremely successful. And due to that, we decided to keep the momentum going in 2021 to offer sponsorship opportunities to include webinars and engagement events. So here I'll discuss the difference between a webinar and an engagement event. We have designated Wednesdays as the day to hold either a webinar or engagement event. So for a webinar, you can have it held between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Wednesday of your choice, as long as there's availability. There are different pricing tiers to include cooperative membership pricing, associate membership, and non-member pricing. And you can choose to either have a presentation on an overview of your co-op or your organization, or a more specific case study or product demo. So these webinars are typically going to be more presentation style, where you would present for about 45 minutes with a Q&A towards the end. Or you can choose to do an engagement event. Next slide, please. Where these are going to be a little bit more interactive, more networking type events. Something we've noted in the 2020 membership survey was that people miss these, networking, conversational type events. So we'd like to provide engagement event opportunities as well. You can choose to do a coffee break mornings event or a PM fireside chat discussion type event. Again, these are held on Wednesdays. The morning coffee breaks can take place between 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m., or we can do the fireside chat discussions between 5:30 and 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We welcome any ideas that you may have, but we also have some ideas to offer to you, to include hot topics, where you may present on a different topic every few minutes to keep the slides moving and keep the engagement going. We have Shark Tank style presentation, where I'm sure you're familiar with the show. You could present a product or service as a Shark Tank pitch. We can help you to host a game night, which could include Jeopardy, trivia, Family Feud, Wheel of Fortune. We offer speed networking, where you can have breakout room sessions to have more intimate discussions, or you can just have a general virtual happy hour type event. So we definitely encourage the engagement. And if you have any questions, or if you would like to reach out about availability, my information is here at the bottom of the slide. And with that, I will now pass it along to Greg Irving, who's going to discuss this year's Co-op Impact Conference.
Thank you so much, Nina. Yeah, I'll be quick, everyone. Good to be talking with you. So this year's annual 2021 Cooperative Impact Conference is sort of your biggest and best opportunity as new members or old members or whatever else to talk about the major issues that the cooperative community faces, innovations you have, and knowledge that you think should be shared with the wider cooperative community. This year, our focus is on the topic embracing our cooperative identity. We really want to sort of bore down into what does it mean in 2021 to embrace the cooperative business model? What are our principles? How do we act differently than our competitors out in the world? Conference will be from October 4th through 8th. It'll have both in-person events at the Press Club in Washington, D.C., as well as a full panoply of options to attend virtually. You can go to the link below, ncbaclusa.coop/impact conference, where probably within the next month or so, we'll be updating some new content that we're selecting and curating, as well as more information on the schedule coming either late May or June, I'm guessing. And then I want to make a big plug for a program I'm particularly passionate about that I hope you will be too. It's the CLSI, which stands for the Cooperative Leaders and Scholars Institute. If you know someone who is either new to their career in cooperatives, whether they be 18 to 35, that's the usual demographic we go for, or perhaps they're a returning student sometime later in their life, feel free to give them my email below for more information, or to go to the website cdf.coop/CLSI. We offer a way for those target demographics to attend the Impact Conference free of charge. We provide networking opportunities and other facilities to make sure that people who are just getting interested in the cooperative movement stay interested in the cooperative movement and help us grow and become stronger going forward. All right, and with that, I will pass it along to Sequoia, Ireland.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sequoia. Next slide, please. So I am the recruiter for NCBA CLUSA's Pharma to Pharma program, which allows you all, our members, to become more involved in our international development efforts. I like to emphasize the fact that with NCBA CLUSA being, the cooperative hub for all cooperatives in the U.S., we actually like to practice those cooperative principles on a global scale. So through the Pharma to Pharma program, we're able to do that by supporting cooperatives in Peru, Honduras, Ecuador, and even Cambodia. For this current cycle of the Pharma to Pharma program, we are focusing on improving sustainable practices in the coffee and cacao value chains, as well as strengthening cooperatives and producer organizations. So working with producer groups and promoting horticulture and tree crop enterprises. Some of the assignments that we currently have available cover topics such as organizational strengthening. We have some cooperatives that we're working with in, like, let's say Peru at the moment, who have recognized that their members aren't as dedicated to the cooperative as they would like to be. And so there's some side selling going on. And with that particular assignment, the volunteer would be working with the organization, the cooperative, to help, figure out why is it that the members are selling their products on the side and what they can do to diminish those activities. With the Pharma to Pharma program, typically volunteers would go on a 2 to 4 week assignment where we pay for all of the costs associated with travel. So you're looking at us paying for your lodging, your per diem, your transportation, so that would cover flights as well. However, because of COVID, what we've been able to do, and these are unprecedented times, so this is a completely new procedure, which is actually proven to be quite a success, but we're able to partner 2 volunteers on each assignment. So you all would be serving as the US volunteer who's working remotely, and we would partner you with an in-country expert volunteer to achieve the deliverables that are set forth in the scope of work, which details everything about the host organizations that we work with, as well as what it is that they would like to achieve. The groups that we work with, they let us know what their maybe 5 or 10-year goal is, and we create these volunteer assignments in a way that will help them to actually achieve those assignments. At the end of a standard assignment, what you can expect is to submit a trip report, which is going to detail your observations, what you did, as well as SMART recommendations, because we do like to follow up with the groups that we work with to see the impact that these volunteer technical assistance assignments have had. So if you are an individual who is willing to get involved with some of the international development work that we have, please feel free. You can either email us at the email address listed below, volunteer@ncba.coop, or you can visit our website where you will find more information about our program, as well as a full listing of all the assignments that we currently have available on topics such as like finance negotiations, so working with women's co-ops to help them to better negotiate terms for their coffee contracts. We have the organizational strengthening, as I mentioned earlier. In some cases, we also have assignments that are more so focused on agriculture, such as bios and biofertilizer or composting. So if this sounds like it's something that is right up your alley, please don't hesitate to visit our website. Thank you. And next coming up will be Kate.
Everyone, Hi everyone, sorry for the delay. I'm just having some technical issues today. I am Kate LaTour. I have the really terrific role of serving as Director of Government Relations here at NCBA CLUSA. And a big part of our work and our advocacy mission is promoting the cooperative model as a strategy to solve public policy challenges. So some of the engagement opportunities are listed on the screen here. And I wanted to just take this time to talk a little bit more broadly about why advocacy, what we're doing and why it's so important. And I think really it was on very clear display this past year, just how important it is for co-ops to really be included explicitly in legislation and be part of that process as legislation is being drafted, as opposed to kind of an afterthought to be sorted out later. NCBA CLUSA and our partner organizations were able to ensure that co-ops were eligible participants for the Paycheck Protection Program and the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program that were part of the kind of initial federal response to the pandemic last year when Congress began to act. And really, we were able to accomplish that because of the impact that we've had over a long period of time in building relationships with staff and members on the Hill. They were familiar with co-ops. They understand the impacts that co-ops have in the community, what that would mean by not including co-ops. And then really importantly, this relationship has helped to build an understanding on how to write legislation so that co-ops can really equitably participate in these programs. And so really that's why some of the best and most important ways that co-ops can participate and engage in advocacy is just by introducing your co-op to members of Congress, senators, other elected officials, and telling your co-op story. These action items should really, I think, be seen as a first step to begin a co-op's ongoing relationship with policymakers. Building a relationship and kind of the trust that comes with it helps to educate staff and on the role of co-ops in the community, policy needs and priorities, and growing policy champions on Capitol Hill and other offices off the Capitol to make sure that co-ops are the go-to policy choice. I also think it's really important to note that advocacy doesn't need to exclusively happen in Washington, D.C. Inviting your elected official to your co-op or to see a product of your organization's work is incredibly valuable in really filling in that picture of what a co-op is in your community. Legislators and their staff are significantly less likely to know the power of your co-op if you never tell them. So this, like I said, is a really good place to start. Co-op members and stakeholders do amazing work every day, sometimes without even realizing how awesome it is. So I think it's important to remind folks to tell their co-op story and show the ways in which the organization is being a leader in the community, meeting local needs, and helping everyday people. It's really simple to start a conversation with your elected officials and their staff, mostly because they are humans too, and ultimately because you're a business in their district and want to hear from you. I'm always more than happy to help facilitate a conversation, provide additional information, background or contacts, just to make things a little bit easier for folks who want to engage in this way. And the last thing I'll add here is to stress that these offices really do value hearing from constituents. But as someone who is continuously meeting with folks in Congress on co-op issues, I also love being able to lift up the excellent stories and ongoing work. So in addition to kind of partaking in this yourself, please do share your good work with NCBA CLUSA too, so we can help lift up that good work on Capitol Hill and elsewhere. And with that, I will turn it back to Nina.
Great, thank you so much, Kate. This is very valuable. So before we lead into a Q&A discussion, I do want to briefly touch on our membership survey. This was initially created to send to new members who join NCBA CLUSA, but we encourage you all to fill it out, whether you are an existing member, a prospective member, or just somebody that would like to provide us with some feedback. If you could just let us know what you'd like to hear about from us, if this was helpful to you, if there are any membership benefits you plan to utilize, or just any general feedback that will help us in the ongoing development of the NCBA CLUSA membership program, we would really appreciate it. And we will go ahead and drop the link in the chat here. If you wouldn't mind just taking about 10 minutes to fill out the survey, we would really appreciate it. I want to thank you all for joining today and for your support of NCBA CLUSA. And with that, I will conclude the presentation portion and lead into a Q&A. If you could drop any questions that you have in the chat, we'd be happy to answer those right now. And I would encourage all the presenters to turn their cameras back on so we can discuss your questions. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Great. So one of the first questions I will ask, let's see here. How can I schedule a sponsored webinar or engagement event? So I can go ahead and answer that question. You can go ahead and reach out to me. My information was on some of the slides there at nsader@ncba.coop, or you can drop them in the membership inbox, which is membership@ncba.coop. And I'm happy to provide you with our availability. We have a calendar of events where we can schedule you for an upcoming Wednesday to do either a webinar or an engagement event. So that's one question. Let's see. Isabel, can you answer what type of submissions are eligible for the social media member highlights?
Yes, absolutely. So it's really whatever you as the member would like to highlight about your organization. So that could be a general shout out where you just want to get the word out about your co-op or organization. And with that, we would ask for a description of your business as well as a logo. You can also highlight an event coming up or an accomplishment, whether you won a recent award or honor or something like that. We're happy to uplift your organization in any way that you want. So it's really flexible. And we're open to any information you're willing to give.
Great, thanks, Isabel. And I do want to note this has been very popular. So if you do submit anything and you're not highlighted right away, don't worry, you will be highlighted in an upcoming Monday. But this has been a very popular initiative. So I encourage you to reach out and we'd be happy to amplify your stories. Let's see, I have a question here for Sequoia. Do I need to have agriculture or farm experience to apply to participate in Farmer to Farmer?
Good question. So I know the name Farmer to Farmer can seem like, oh, well, if I'm not a farmer, how does this apply to me? But the beauty about the Farmer to Farmer program is that we cover such a wide variety of sectors that no, you don't necessarily need to have agricultural experience or anything like that. So just like I'd mentioned, like the finance instructor or the organizational strengthening assignment, those are some examples of assignments that we actually do have. So no, you don't need to be an ag expert per se.
Great, thank you, Sequoia. Next question, which I can answer, is how do I become a member of NCBA CLUSA? So just so you know, we do have 3 types of membership if you're not already aware. We have cooperative membership, associate membership, and individual membership. So if you are interested, you can head to ncbaclusa.coop and then you can click membership and join, and you can fill out an interest form, which will come to me, and then I will reach out to you with additional details, pricing, information that you may need. But again, you can also reach out to me at nsater@ncba.coop or membership@ncba.coop, and I'm happy to answer your questions without you having to find it on the website. So thank you for that question. Let's see. Isabel, what is the difference between having a NCBA CLUSA produce an online event versus hosting a sponsored webinar?
That is a great question, and feel free to jump in. But I would say the difference between those two is that you would have the support of the NCBA CLUSA comms team to run your organization's event. So let's say you're an organization and you want to put on a virtual conference. You would have the support of NCBA CLUSA's communications team for technical support. We can also run registration and or do both. So it's really up to you, and those services vary depending on what you need for your event. Whereas hosting a sponsored webinar or engagement event would be a little bit different, and it kind of all depends on what your organization needs in terms of our services. So if you need any support in any way, just reach out to us and we can take your situation and figure out the best thing for you.
Yes, thank you, Isabel. And something that we can also do is set up a discovery call with our members if you do have any interest. Myself and Tamela and Greg can also join the communications team, and we can determine the best way to move forward if you're interested. So that's another way to go about that as well. Let's see. If there's any other questions. Sorry, I'm just reading through these. Okay, so another question is, how can I get connected with other members? I can go ahead and take a stab at that one. So this is something that will actually be announced at our annual membership meeting taking place May 4th. But look forward to hearing more about a platform where you'll be able to communicate with other members in your sector or across sectors as well. And then another way is if you do sponsor an event or a webinar, we are happy to provide you with a list of names and companies that have participated so that you can get connected with them as well. So that is a great question. Okay, Sequoia, how can I get signed up for the Farmer to Farmer program? I know you kind of briefly touched on that, but do you mind?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm excited because now it seems like I got some more interested volunteers. So I like that. Yeah, so if you go to the webpage that was listed in the slide, so it's if you go on NCBA CLUSA, look up Farmer to Farmer, you'll come across all of the assignments that we have. And so all you have to do is apply through that website and we'll get you on board. After an interview, of course, but still, we'll get you on board.
Perfect.
Yep.
I believe that's all the questions I see right now. If there's any others, please feel free to drop them in. Yep, I'll give it another minute and then see if anybody else has questions. And again, I just want to reiterate to fill out that membership survey and let us know if this was helpful to you or if there's anything else that we can talk about in a future webinar that will be helpful as well. Please feel free to do that. I see a question, when will the slides become available? Isabel, when do those typically get posted on our YouTube?
Absolutely. So a recording of this webinar will be available on our YouTube page by the end of today. And then we'll send out a mailing to all those that have registered either today or tomorrow with the recording, as well as all of our email addresses and what department we're responsible for, so that you can make sure you're contacting the right person. So yeah, today or tomorrow.
Great, thank you. That's fast. Okay. I'm going to ask a question and feel free to jump in. I'm not sure who wants to answer this one, but can NCBA CLUSA connect us with credit unions in our region to support more loans?
I can talk about that a little bit. Yeah, we have a network with each of the sectors, including credit unions, and we can certainly, whether working through the Credit Union National Association, many of the state leagues of credit unions are members of NCBA CLUSA, and we're happy to utilize their network to connect folks on potential partnership. One of the course the things that we are most focused on at NCBA CLUSA is the 6 cooperative principle of cooperation among cooperatives, and whether that's in a business, the ability to do business together, or to do advocacy together, or to learn together. So we're happy we love making those cross-sector connections.
Great, thank you, Doug. And as always, if you'd like to reach out to me, we can set up a membership meeting and discuss that as well. All right, another question is, I need to connect with other members involved with purchasing co-ops. How do I connect with those members? So similar to what Doug has stated and what I've stated, we can set up a meeting to kind of go over this. Before we launch our platform I briefly talked about, we can definitely make those introductions one-on-one. If we set up a meeting with you, we can kind of determine how to move forward with that. So all great questions. Thank you very much for participating. I believe that may be all the questions. All right. If there are no other questions, we can wrap this up. Want to thank everybody for participating and dropping your questions in the chat.
Nina, thank you. And I have just a couple closing comments, but before the NCBA CLUSA team says goodbye, I do want to emphasize your association and you know, NCBA CLUSA is an association of cooperatives, and you know, at its very heart, it's an association of people. And here's a team of folks who are really committed to the mission and vision of your membership, and it's a fantastic group of folks. And please do, you know, look for ways for us to move forward, to do the work that you find most important for the cooperative movement. That's what we're here for. So thank you, team. JT, I skipped a slide on the cooperative community. I just want to linger on that for about 30 seconds, and then say goodbye. I'm sort of notorious for not following the slides, and I did that again today. And this was a slide to talk to you, the members, about your community of NCBA CLUSA. So, you know, we've mentioned a couple times the different sectors. Of course, you know, we have in our membership housing co-ops, retail co-ops, electric, worker, purchasing, credit union, agriculture, and you know, and beyond. In our network, we have many or most of the co-op development organizations, and we have individuals actually who are also, and there's an opportunity to be an individual member of NCBA CLUSA if you want to support us in that way. So that's, you know, in the United States, 1 in 3 Americans are members of cooperatives. You know, 65,000 establishments, well over 2 million jobs. It's a major community, and as was alluded to a couple times, you know, we're in a moment right now where people have a greater focus on some of the challenges that we face as a society: inequality, systemic racism, the need for more resilience in the face of climate change, in the changing nature of work. We know that cooperatives are a preferred strategy to help meet these challenges. It's a generational time, and the only way that we're going to be able to capture this opportunity is if we work together. And that's why our membership program is so important at NCBA CLUSA. It's the way that we empower you in the cooperative community to make sure that co-ops make the biggest impact in your communities and across the country and across the world. So thank you, everybody, for taking the time today. Please do reach out to us. We look forward to further engagement, and we'll see you soon. Nina, anything else for the group today?
No, I think you covered it. Thank you all for joining. We really appreciate your participation today.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.